Good morning. We ordered up some nice weather for you today. We avoided the snow. We have a little sunshine. It's a great day. I'm Christine Grenier, Vice President of Admission, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 5th annual Niebuhr Service to Society Scholarship Competition. We are joined today by future Blue Jays, locally, from out of state, and across the world. I'd like to congratulate each one of you for the service that you bring to your communities. You should be proud of the work that you do. Let me take a few minutes to tell you about the Niebuhrs, who this competition is named after. Reinhold Niebuhr and H. Richard Niebuhr graduated from Elmhurst, then college, in 1910 and 1912, respectively, and were among the preeminent American theologians of the 20th century. As you might expect with siblings, they didn't always agree with each other, but they respected each other's knowledge, intellect, and scholarly work. If you've passed through campus before, there's no doubt you've seen the statue of Reinhold Niebuhr in front of the Frick Center. While he's an all-out celebrity amongst theologians, he is well known in the public sphere for his Serenity Prayer. Alcoholics Anonymous and other 12-step programs widely adopted the prayer in the 1940s, but it was actually written earlier in the 1930s, making its way to congregations and sermons, and was included in the prayer book written for soldiers in World War II. Niebuhr's mark on society extends beyond prayer and his writings on morality, social justice, and ethics. He was opinionated, yet humble as his philosophy evolved over time and throughout his life. He was passionate about the complexity of human beings, and he influenced theologians and civil rights leaders such as Martin Luther King Jr., who spoke right here in this very chapel in 1966. Reinhold Niebuhr was a scholar who knew the ills of society, but he also knew the potential of the individual to be moral and just, and to do good for others with action. His writings resonate with me because he reminds us that we do not need to be perfect to work for the common good, but we do need to act. I'm reminded of a simple commandment from my grandmother. She always told my siblings and me in the most simple form: you do for people. As a child, I remember asking her what this meant, and her simple response was, when somebody needs something, you give it to them. In each of your videos and service resumes, it's clear to me that you all understand this sentiment and the action necessary. Each of you have given your time, your heart, your resources to people in need. From things to intentionally smiling at strangers to acknowledge their existence, to feeding communities, to building a school, each of you contribute to the society that Reinhold Niebuhr believed in fighting for. I am proud to welcome each of you into the Elmhurst family to continue the Niebuhr legacy and your own unique impact on society. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to see all your warm, smiling faces. My name is Alexander Blumenberg. I am the Senior Director of Admissions for first-year students, so really excited to be here with you all today. Today I have the honor, and it truly is my privilege, to introduce our Mistress of Ceremonies this evening, Lucia Gaviria. I have had the chance to work with her in the admissions office, and she truly is someone special. She believes in social change and society, service to society, and has also been able to start her own organization on campus. She's a part of organizations and organizations on campus as well, and works with us in the admissions office. She is currently a sophomore here at Elmhurst University, and she was the 2021 second place Niebuhr to Society scholarship winner. So please join me in welcoming Lucia Gaviria.
Medellin, Colombia, the city where I was born and raised, is a city of opposites. A quick Google search will show you its violent history as opposed to present-day success. I was always aware of this violent past and its current repercussions, but only because I studied them in school and saw the news headlines. I did not experience them on a day-to-day basis. In 10th grade, I joined the popular activity we had at my school of selling food on campus. I chose mango popsicles. I saw this as a simple way to make money. However, it opened my eyes to the reality of my city and got me to the place where I am right now, literally. My name is Lucia Gaviria, and I am a sophomore here at Elmhurst, and I was a recipient of the Niebuhr Scholarship in 2021. 4 years ago, I took a 10-year-old cooler laying around my house and began my entrepreneurial career as a popsicle lady. The popsicles were a hit. I sold about 60 a week. However, when the pandemic struck, I had to stop selling them. This affected my community way more than I had expected. Within a couple of weeks into lockdown, the woman who made the popsicles contacted me. She was enduring harsh economic effects. People had stopped visiting her popsicle stand because of COVID. The woman whose work provided me with superficial benefits could not even afford her necessities. Like many others, during the pandemic, she had been forgotten. I arrived at her house, and before I could even knock, an elderly lady opened the door, offering the purest smile I had ever seen. You would have never known what she was going through. Doña Alba was the real popsicle lady, and she invited me in. And there I saw the entire family, sons, daughters, cousins, and even a couple of grandkids, all chopping mangoes in unison. I realized this whole family was behind every popsicle I sold. Their home, food, and education depended on me selling a single frozen treat. They called to thank me for the popsicles I had bought from them in the past and asked if I wanted to buy some more during the pandemic. My heart sunk to the floor. I had no way of selling the same amount of popsicles as before. Despite their resilience and persistence, I felt like there was not much I could do. As I walked away, teary-eyed, I could not stop thinking about them. I thought about what I could do for them, and something as simple as a social media campaign came to mind. What if people learned the story behind these delicious treats? They would buy the product not only for their fantastic flavor, but also for the social cause behind them. I returned to Doña Alba and asked to take photos and videos of the step-by-step process. Then I promoted their business through short videos. I showed how one popsicle can change the life of an entire family. It was a Wednesday afternoon when we first started taking orders for deliveries, and by Thursday morning, we had sold over 254 popsicles. Turns out, like a lot of us, during the pandemic, people found comfort in helping others, and this was an easy way to help a struggling family from the comfort of your home. Before March 2020, I thought that I was not capable of creating change. It felt like something outside of my control. Quarantine and mango popsicles taught me about the real world out there and how appreciative, resilient, and kind it can be. So many people around the globe struggled to get through the day during the pandemic, and I was wholly and utterly oblivious to it. Throughout this experience, I learned to acknowledge my privilege and appreciate the power of having a voice, one that could generate change. Little did I know that telling this story is what would give me the opportunity to be able to pay for school in the United States. 2 years ago today, like many of you, I was sweating profusely and struggling to catch my breath going into the group portion of the competition. What if I blew all my hard work at the last second by saying the wrong thing? Fortunately, like all of you can see, that didn't happen. 2 years ago today, my life was forever changed. Since coming to Elmhurst, I've lived the most wonderful and enriching experiences of my life. I have bonded with my faculty to find a career path I love. I have joined the sorority and found my forever friends. I took a big risk and took on a leadership position 1 week into being initiated. I funded a woman empowerment club on campus, and I even took a job for the office that gave me this amazing opportunity. All experiences I would have never thought could start by selling popsicles. This is not just a scholarship competition. The stories told in all of your videos are prime examples of how we must learn to appreciate the ability to uplift powerful voices and share stories communities need to hear, because any action, no matter how big or small, is one step closer to changing the world. I once visited a tribe in the Amazon, and they had the following saying, which stuck with me. Cada quien hace lo que puede para cambiar el mundo desde su banquito. Or, everyone does what they can to change the world from their own little stool. This scholarship competition is a great opportunity to take a moment and reflect, because wherever you realize it or not, all of you have the power to uplift your community. For me, all it took was a crusty old cooler and a mango popsicle. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's so exciting to see all of you here and ready to embark on the journey of participating in the scholarship competition today. I'm Michelle Adams, the Senior Director of Transfer Admission and Enrollment Partnerships, and I am up here in front of you all to talk about what the day looks like for you over the next couple hours of our event. So first off, our students will be heading into their student group projects with their judges in just a couple of moments. While students are in their group projects, our guests and family members will have the opportunity to attend the Student Resource Showcase and the Parent Panel right here in the chapel. For those of you joining us virtually, please utilize the landing page and the link there to stay with our live stream. The students will be back with us closer to about 10 o'clock for some cocoa and very yummy donuts. I highly recommend them. From there, we will lead into the award ceremony at 10:30, where you will hear directly from our Elmhurst University president, Dr. Troy Van Aken, and the winners of the competition will be named live. We are also offering an optional campus tour as well as a counselor meet and greet at the conclusion of the event around 11 o'clock today. So please be sure to check out your program schedule throughout the day to keep on time with everything. And with that, we are going to get this party started, right? So, for our students participating virtually, at this time, please return to the landing page and click the link that says Student Group Project Zoom. And don't forget to join us online at 10:30 for the award ceremony. For all of our students joining us here on campus, I'd like to get you moving to your rooms with your judges to begin the group projects. Therefore, starting with row 23 in the back, I'd like one row at a time to exit the chapel, staying with your groups. So if 23, whoever group 23 is back there, can start it off. And then we're going to go 22 and 21 and everything like that until we get all the way up to the front.
Thanks for hanging out in Hammersmith Memorial Chapel with us. My name is Tim Allberg. I am the Assistant Director of Admission. I'm the Fine Arts Counselor. I work with all those folks. I work with all of the students involved in our ELSA program and a whole lot more. So I'm going to help moderate this here panel. This first half, we're going to meet some of our students that are pretty heavily involved in student life as it pertains to our honors group and some of our service organizations here. And of course, we have one of our newest, youngest students, Dr. Mary Kay Mulvaney here, who's actually at our faculty. She's director of our honors program. So I'm going to have each of them. I've got Navali Wiley here. I've got Haley Nicholas here, and I've got Chris Perez, pitch hitting here. And they're going to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about what they do on campus and what's important to them about service here. Would you like to start?
Oh, okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here at Elmhurst on this beautiful day. Glad you held the storm off for us. I am, as Tim mentioned, Mary Kay Mulvaney, Director of the Honors Program and an English professor here as well. The Honors Program, as well as all units on campus, are very focused on service and the importance of service learning in classes and various kinds of service activities outside of classes as well. It really is central to our social justice mission that more or less defines the core, I believe, of Elmhurst University. I've been here 22 years, and I see that belief lived out every day with my colleagues, with these wonderful students, and with our supportive parents and family and friends. So thank you again for being here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Perez. I'm currently a senior here at Elmhurst. This is my final semester here. I'm currently an English major with an emphasis on writing. I do quite a few things here on campus. I'm an honors program member, as well as a writing tutor in the Learning Center. I'm also the vice president of our esports community, as well as president of Phi Mu Alpha, which is our music fraternity, as well as being involved with another social fraternity here on campus. I think service is a really important and integral part for really anyone to be involved in. I know in the organizations that I'm with, specifically with our social fraternity, we believe that service is really character defining. It helps us really become part of the community as well as bond with each other in ways that is really hard to do in any other setting.
Hi again, my name is Navali Wiley. I'm the president of Hope for Gold, which is a pediatric cancer awareness group here on campus. Some of the things we do is host events for families who have children who are undergoing treatment or survivors of cancer. We also just reach out to the community with any service opportunities that they have and team with them. Community service is very important to us. I don't want them to just be supporting just one cause. I want them to be able to be fluent with other organizations.
Hi everyone, my name is Haley Nicholas and I'm a senior this year at Elmhurst University. I'm double majoring in environmental studies and urban studies with minors in Spanish and biology. I currently serve as the executive chair for our honors program social organization, also called ECHO. I'm also a member of Green Jays, our sustainability club on campus, and of Alpha Mu Gamma, which is our foreign language honor society. Service has come to be a big part of my life here at Elmhurst, just from planning multiple service events for the campus body to engage in, while also engaging in service through our numerous courses at Elmhurst as well.
Hi, my name is Ruhana Amin, and I'm a freshman here at Elmhurst, and I'm a biology major with a minor in business. And so for me, service, I have just been volunteering since like middle school, and I started my own social service project called Hands Helping Hands, where during COVID we were giving groceries and necessities to those who were in need. And I was also raising funds for the victims of the Pakistan floods and India floods, and also for the Turkey earthquake. I've been kind of just doing stuff on my own, but Elmhurst has also helped me with bringing awareness to these things.
Excellent. So can you talk a little bit about why the service element of the university is important to you when you chose to come here?
So personally, I've always been volunteering has always been a big part of my life. I grew up in a household where helping the needy was very important to us. It's also part of my religion, so it's a big factor in Islam to help others when they're in need. So going to a school that has that as one of its big pillars was just very important for me, because I knew that I wanted to be able to continue helping people with the help of the school I go into.
For me, it's a bit interesting because I really didn't engage in too much service before coming to Elmhurst. So it wasn't until I came here that I started engaging in service on a more consistent basis. But that's what I love about Elmhurst. I really found a community of students and faculty who are centered around service, and it's very important for everyone on campus. So I think that's probably why I stayed with Elmhurst. It helped me get a lot more involved in the community and recognize how important and essential service is to me and how passionate I am for it.
So mine's also a little different. I am an early childhood ed major, so a lot of my push is for children, and so there's many community groups out in the community so that do children organizations. I love children and I love supporting them in any way that I can. So I've always been doing community service growing up that surrounded children. That's
Similarly to what was said before, I didn't really get involved in a lot of service until coming to Elmhurst, and I kind of got roped into a lot of different things. It allowed me to really be part of something. I think even before I started here, I wanted to be part of something, and specifically to be part of something greater than myself. And so being able to be a part of all of these organizations, as well as I came in here originally as a English education major. I wanted to really become part of that cycle of service, to become part of something, as I said before, bigger.
I think what I find most rewarding about engaging students in service or within courses, what we usually refer to as service learning, is the reciprocal nature and benefit of the relationship. Because it's not only about helping someone who may need an extra hand in some way, but I find that the students receive more than they give in just realizing that people face lots of challenges in going through this life, that not everyone has the same experience that they may be having, and it really is such a broadening experience for them. It changes their whole perspective on everything. In one of my courses, every fall term, I work with an organization called Exodus World Service that is a refugee support group for newly arriving individuals to the Chicago area who are international refugees and from literally all over the world, from very troubled areas of the world. And our students collect things for them and visit them in their apartments. And it is such an eye-opening experience for these students to meet these people, see how grateful they are to be in a safe place, but imagine all the challenges that they face in learning a new language and getting to know new customs, new food, everything that is, for the most part, entirely different. And it is always one of the things that the students at the end of that course, and this is just one small piece of it, but that they write about in their final essay as one of the most rewarding aspects of that course, and what a life-changing experience it is for them. So I think you can't really put a value in any quantitative sense on the value of service, but it is one of the most significant parts of, I think, of the university experience for a student.
That's amazing. I should have said from the beginning, I also have Alexander Blumenberg here to help us moderate this panel. And one of the things we talked about is that if any of you have questions and would love to have your voice amplified throughout the chapel with your question, Alexander would be happy to rush out and do the Phil Donahue with you all. That joke only lands with the parents. Any questions by any chance? And it could be service-oriented, it could be Elmhurst-oriented. I should disclose we have a parent panel coming in a little while too. Go ahead, sir. He's rushing to you now.
Thank you. My question would be, how would you encourage a kid who says, I'm not a joiner, to get involved?
That's a great question. Who's got thoughts on that? Anybody have some anxiety about getting involved in groups when you landed here? Go ahead, if you want to pass the mic down.
Honestly, something that I've realized after my one semester here, that the college experience is about getting involved. So if your kid is really focused on getting that college experience, then encourage them to join clubs. And we have a club for literally everything. Like we have Green Jays, we have our Muslim Student Association, we have any club you can think of, it's already here. And if he wants to make his own club, or if they want to make their own club, they can. So getting involved is just more of part of the experience. So if they feel like they want something done, then join a club.
I'll kind of add on to that. I was not someone who was very involved in high school at all. So coming to Elmhurst, I wanted to try to get involved, but also I'm a very shy and introverted person, so it took a minute, but I think something that helped me was finding a good core group of friends, and going to the student involvement fair with them and finding different clubs that we were interested in and going to the meetings. And something that I also love about Elmhurst is that it's very non-committal. You can try out a bunch of different clubs and not commit to any of them if you don't want to. So there's just so many options for that. And then also just my experience as a commuter student, because I know there's a lot of students that commute to campus, and it can be a little more difficult to get involved sometimes if you don't live on campus. I would say that there's a lot of resources for commuter students to meet each other. We do have a commuters club, I believe it's called. Yeah, just finding your core group and trying out new things with them and not being afraid to take that next step and getting involved.
I did want to just re-highlight that every semester we do have an activities fair where most of our clubs and organizations are out with tables. In the beginning of the fall, we'll have it out in the mall, weather depending, and beginning of the spring semester, which is still winter, we do it in the Founders Lounge. And that's a big thing. I'm a college life coach too, and I encourage all my students to kind of go to that and peruse and check out, and I kind of push them, you really should join a thing, meet some folks. And sometimes it takes time. Sometimes you got to get a transition to school, but there is a lot available to our students, whether they live here or don't.
I was just going to comment that one of the strengths, I think, of the Elmhurst experience is our first year seminar program. So I'm an instructor within that program. There are many of my colleagues who are, and we are all partnered with different wonderful college life coaches. So every student is, they can select topics, but basically they're assigned to a first year seminar group of typically about 18 students, sometimes one or two more, and that group goes through a very intensive orientation together. They get to be close friends. I mean, I still see graduating seniors who are still hanging out with the students that they were in the first year seminar course with me, or in whatever group. And very often in those groups, they are encouraged as a class to do things. So sometimes for someone that's finding it a little harder to get involved, it can be a little bit of a forced experience at first, or like, this is what the whole group's doing, and then it tends to help them break the ice, and I don't mean that they're mandated to do anything they really don't want to do, but when the whole group is doing something and they get close to that group and they have class together 2 or 3 days a week, over the semester you can just see those relationships growing, and more students get involved and find the path that's good for them.
My colleague Tim also mentioned, the college life coach experience, and so I serve as a college life coach as well. And to give you more of an understanding of what that means or what that is, every student through the first year seminar course is paired with a college life coach, and the sole purpose of the college life coach is to assist with the transition. So we meet monthly. We do presentations in the class, but we also have one-on-one individual sessions with the students as well. And so to your question, there have been students that come in and don't really want to get too involved, but you can almost see how they progress throughout the year. We start in September or October, and then we meet with them all of their first semester as well as into their second. And so the students that we see coming out of high school and matriculating through that first year are not the same students that are coming out on the back end when we're done speaking with them through the college life coaching sessions.
That's awesome. That was a great question. So see how much gold you got out of that? Anyone else have some questions from the audience? Burning things you'd like to hear from actual students here? That's good hustle.
Trying to get there.
Thank you. If you could go back in time, what recommendations would you give your first year selves to do differently coming into Elmhurst?
That's beautiful.
Great question. Thank you.
I think it would be do more. I feel like knowing what I know now, I kind of wish I cannonballed instead of dipped my toe. I feel like there are so many things I would have wanted to do had I not been so timid or hesitant. I think doing more and going out more and being more with the community, I would have told myself to do more. Even though I'm now really involved, I feel like with a little bit faster preparation, I think it would have done a lot more up to this point.
Mine's very similar to his. I still am not very involved, which I should be. I should get out there, but I started off very timid. So, and then I eventually reached out to the other groups. I connect with other groups. I'm not really involved with them, but I wish I would have signed myself up for more organizations to do more things for the community.
For myself, I can't say I have many regrets, quite honestly. Looking back at the last 4 years, I've really enjoyed my time at Elmhurst, and I've pushed myself to get involved. I mentioned in high school I really wasn't involved, and making that push was really beneficial for me. Honestly, I might even say do less, just because spreading yourself out too thin can be very easy once you start getting involved. But yeah, I don't have too many regrets, honestly.
So I'm a first year now, so I can't really say much. But I do feel like the thing with college is that you change so much so quickly. So I feel like me now is not who I was like when first semester started. So I feel like what I tell myself is to like just calm down a bit. It's not worth being so stressed over like little things, because it's very important to recognize that your mental health can affect your physical health. So that can have like a really big impact on like how you go at school and other things. So I would say don't stress out too much and manage your time better, because I was overwhelmed a lot first semester because I was working a lot, and then I had a lot of schoolwork to do, and just balancing that stuff, it just wasn't easy for me. So I just manage your time better and not get so overwhelmed so quickly.
That's awesome. A question I'd like to ask, and this is partially because we have Mary Kay here, is, a lot of you and a lot of your students could be involved in our honors community. So sometimes I get asked a lot about what extra commitments are involved in that. Is it more challenging? Is it harder? Can you address that a little bit, those of you who are involved?
I can go ahead and start out, I guess. So I serve as the president or the executive chair of our honors program social organization. Also, my first year on campus, I lived in our honors living learning community. So I'm very involved in our honors program. It's been a very integral part of my experience at Elmhurst, and I really love our honors program. I would say it's not more difficult. The courses that you have to take as part of the honors program, I believe you need 4.75 credits in order to graduate with honors program member designation. So there's different designations and levels, and I'm sure Dr. Mulvaney would talk about that a bit more. But the courses that you take that are honors designated are really not more difficult. They're just a bit more discussion based. Oftentimes they have a service learning requirement where you engage in service in the community, and usually read something along with that or discuss the service that you engage in. Honestly, the honors courses that I've taken at Elmhurst have been some of my favorite courses. They're very unique. They are full of honors students, so they're all students that are committed to learning and that want to discuss more deeper topics. And you form a great community within the honors program. You find friends that you can relate with. So I would say definitely join the honors program if it's something you're thinking about, and don't be too worried about whether it's too difficult or not.
In addition to all of that, the network of people that you have while in the honors program is also very extensive. Even now, I'll meet new honors program members like, oh, you're in the honors program. That's great. Have you done this, this, this? Well, what opportunities are you looking into? I'm going to steal a little bit of Dr. K's thunder a little bit, but she would say, and I like a lot, the honors program is not more work. It is more opportunity. There's a lot more things that you can do and you have access to because of this extensive network of staff, faculty, and students here at Elmhurst.
One of the things that Chris took advantage of that the honors program offers is an opportunity to spend an entire semester abroad in Liverpool, England. Chris did that as a first-year student. Every spring, there's an honors program semester offering overseas. I go over with the students, and then once they are launched at that, they go to attend Liverpool Hope University, which is in many ways kind of similar to Elmhurst, I think, in terms of the feel and the campus, and yet obviously it's a very different experience to live in a different culture. And they're there for the entire semester. About partway through, in fact, I just returned a couple of days ago, I go back and meet the students in London, and they have 3 nonstop days of every major site you can imagine in London, and then we put them back on the train exhausted, and they have a lot of good memories. So that's one of the opportunities, yes, and actually to give credit to what Chris was talking about, there was actually a former student a long time ago, an alum who I remember well, went on to do great things, and someone came into my office, he happened to be a student worker in the area, and asked if the honors program was about a lot of extra work. And I said, Nathan, do you think the honors program is about a lot of extra work? And he said, no, it's just about a lot of extra opportunities. So it was really, I'll give credit to him. But I think one of the things that I very much envision the honors program is trying to provide a holistic experience for students. So yes, some slightly more challenging coursework is part of it, but also a commitment to service, to expanding their intercultural consciousness, their global consciousness, their leadership skills. We want to help develop students to be future leaders in our society, and Lord knows we need a lot of help, right? So that's how I think of the honors program contributing to their experience. Just so you know, some students are invited into the program right from the beginning, depending on the level of academic merit scholarship they receive from the university. But any student once here who earns a significant GPA can apply to join. So they can also join along the way, I call it, and still graduate with honors program distinction. Our highest one, we call the honors program Global Scholar, and they've done one of the other emphases within the program is on undergraduate research, and students have the option to do research in their fields. Chris has done that. Yeah, many people in all different disciplines. The students in the program are from every discipline on campus. It's not unique to or restricted to any one group. It's very much an interdisciplinary focus.
Awesome. Here's a question I got in from the internet. How could families best support their students who are kind of making this transition and joining us here at Elmhurst? Are there some thoughts students have that were the things like, Mom, just leave me alone? Or did you like, have more preference for support from them?
Yeah, so as much as my freshman year, if I can go back, I was very much kind of like that. No, Mom, don't talk to me. I'm busy. I'm a big boy now. Not true at all. I think it's okay to pester your child every once in a while. I think it's back then maybe I that's what I said, but what I thought, it felt nice to know that even though I'm making this transition, that there's still someone kind of in my corner, and to know that there's someone supporting me throughout the way. I feel like, if we go back to your question earlier, be nice to Mom. I think it would be another thing to add to my first year self, just because the family support system is so important throughout that transitional phase. I definitely recommend just to check in, make those weekly, monthly visits, however possible you can, just because that stage is very interesting, to say the least.
I was very similar. So I was a very timid freshman. I told my mom that I wasn't going to do a whole lot here on campus, and I only do one organization. So Hope for Gold is my baby. But the supportive relationships that I've created, being a part of Hope for Gold, they're the only reason I am here today. Actually, I have a big fear of public speaking, and so my supportive group pushed me. I was like, should I do this? Should I not? I only live once. And so this opportunity was pushed from them. So here I am today, facing my fear, yeah.
I would say for me, I'm a first-generation college student, so no one in my family's been to college before. So something that I struggled with first coming here was that they didn't really understand what I was doing, what my coursework entailed, what I was doing in my extracurriculars. So I would say, if you're going through a similar situation, just be there for the student. Don't be too offended if they're distant. They will find their Elmhurst family, so they'll probably have two families at that point. But they'll also want to lean on you for support, definitely.
So personally, I have a really good relationship with my mom. My mom is like my best friend. She's like my own therapist I don't have to pay for. So I remember like first semester, I was like, so I'm a first year pre-med student, so I had to make a lot of sacrifices. And with that, I barely was talking to my mom that much. I was barely talking to my family, like especially during finals week. So I feel like having, like, still being there to support your child while also like giving them the time that they need, because I know personally for me, like I was like very, very stressed during finals week. Like I wasn't talking to anyone. I was staying up at like 3 a.m. working on my homework and like just in my zone. So I feel like knowing that I had my mom at my back, like she was like she was still there for me even when I didn't ask for her to be there for me. So I feel like being there for your kid is very important, and also being understanding that they can't talk 24/7 to you guys. It's I'm a commuter, so I live like 15 minutes away, so I'm home every night. So even though I'm home every night doesn't mean I'm like with my family. So I feel like that's very important to understand that like sometimes, like especially in the career that they're going into, it's hard to manage both family life and school life and everything else. So just kind of like being there to support them while also being understanding that like they might not have time to sit down and talk or sit down and eat dinner and stuff like that.
Question.
Thank you. What sort of formalized mental health supports do you have for your students? You know, obviously many will work into burnout or depression's common, and substance abuse, etc.
So I know personally that with the life coaches, they can connect you to a lot of mental health resources. I believe we get 8 sessions of free therapy here. I'm not entirely sure. It's around there.
We do have a counseling center,
Yeah.
available as part of our health services department, and there's appointments available they can sign up for. Plus, we have an app that you can use in your My Elmhurst student portal that, does anyone remember the name of it? What was it? TAO, T-A-O. So it's a useful online resource for immediate counseling services as well. Obviously, that's a growing need across all of this generation, and we're very aware of it as an institution. And like she mentioned, that's part of the role of the CLC too, to help with some of that support. Now, we're not counselors, but we are people to help direct and strategize. I spend a lot of time sort of trying to break down homework assignments and kind of keeping ourselves from getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, so specifically, all Elmhurst students get 30 free sessions of counseling. We have a counseling center in the Wellness Center with a maximum of 15 sessions per semester. So you can kind of divide however many sessions throughout your time here at Elmhurst. Speaking specifically about TAO, TAO is a resource for everybody to use completely free. There's quite a few modules on there, everything from mental health check-ins, how to manage time, if you need help in specific areas, or if you have like just like exercises in order to check in on your mental health.
Excellent question. So anyone else have any remaining? Because what I thought we'd do, we got one more? All right.
While Alexander is running down there, just real quickly on the parent question, and it is a delicate balance, I think, to support your child, but also give them space, to let them have time, to let them be able to make a mistake and know they can come back to you for comfort, but this is part of the growing process. I'm going to say this not as a professor, but as a mom and a grandmother of 16. I worry sometimes that I've seen more and more young people today being so dependent on their parents that the parents are not letting go enough, and I don't mean abandon them by any means. I'm very close with our 5 children and our 16 grandchildren, and they are the highlight of my life, but you need to let them be their own person too and give them a little space. So while you're there supporting, don't expect them necessarily to be calling you every day, texting you multiple times a day. I think that can be an overwhelming feeling when they're trying to figure out who they are and what they're doing here.
Either. I feel like intimidated using this
Is there a
thing.
question
Okay.
in the back?
Yes. So first of all, I just want to say to the early childhood major, you're doing an awesome job. Okay. I know you said you have anxiety. You're doing a great job. My questions to the students, I wanted to know, what does learning look like in your classroom? So, you know, you can look when you're shopping for a college, like a prof's published and researched, and they're tenured this, and they're endowed that, but I want to know, what does it actually look like on a day-to-day basis? Is it creative? Is it active? Those kinds of things.
And no pressure, we're under a time limit, so.
I'll be very brief. To me, learning in the classroom is generating knowledge. It is being able to be with colleagues, be with peers, and be able to create something new. Being an English major, being able to kind of sit down, have discussions about literature and about even our own creative endeavors. Learning is being a part of that generation of knowledge.
So what is also, as a science major, it's, there's the lectures and then there's the labs. The lectures, they're more of like the professor presenting you the information, and you'll have to like apply it on your own. But it's also like, for me, that's more of like helpful, because with lab, you use that information that you learned from the lecture, and it's more of like a hands-on experience. So you get both of like the hands-on learning and also like the teacher talking to you learning. So, and you also, with a lot of the professors, they're always making sure that they're there to help you. If you have a question, you can just ask. They have office hours. And being in a classroom full of students who are all in like the same boat is also very helpful, because like, if you're worried about your child not making enough friends, they'll make friends in their classes, especially depending on how their career is. So I know, like, as a bio major, a lot of us are like, oh, like, you're a pre-med student too? Oh my God, yay, we're gonna spend the rest of our life in school. Like, we bond over that. So that's just how important like the classes are for me, at least.
Awesome. Thanks for the great questions. We're going to take a 5-minute break so certain panel hosts can use the facilities. If you didn't know, they are downstairs on either corner, or you can go down this way or that way. And then we're going to have a panel of current students' parents up here. But how about a round of applause for these fine folks? Thank you so much. We just like to assume all of your students have decided to come to Elmhurst and are coming to Elmhurst. So hopefully that's true. If not, I'll get us sad. These parents have all done this event and been through it in various versions over the last couple of years, and their students are here. So I want to have each of them introduce themselves, tell a little bit who their students are, and kind of why they chose that. And then, again, like before, we're going to open it up to you all if you want to ask a parent-to-parent question. Because I'm old enough to be a parent, but I just have cats. So it's not the same. I don't got to pay their tuition, just vet bills. So I'm going to start with you, sir.
Hello, my name is Khalid Carter. My son, his name is Zachary Carter. He's a freshman. He's a current freshman. He's the last year's winner of the Niebuhr scholarship. He came in first last year. So yeah, I'm very very gratified.
So if you win, we're going to make you do this.
Elmhurst University, it had a lot of appeal to me for a number of reasons. It was a smaller school, so I felt that my kid would get the close monitoring that he needed from the instructors and everything. My kid, he's a hard worker, so he's able to go to the instructors and the assistants and get the help he needs for his lessons and stuff. A big reason that I chose Elmhurst is that he's also an aspiring boxer. I'm his dad and his coach. He's going to be a professional, you know, in the next couple of years, and he's actually going to be going for the Olympics later on this year. So I wanted an opportunity to continue to train him as well as him going to school. So I only live about 35 minutes away, so it really worked out that way. So we got a good school. He remains close, but he's out of the house. He had to get out of the house in order to grow up. Saved me a lot of money on food. I didn't realize that until he left. But yeah, this is, Elmhurst University is all that I hope for. It really is. So if you guys got any apprehensions, don't worry about it. He met a lot of friends already. I mean, I love it. I love it. I love it for him.
That's awesome. Thank you. His video was, I forgot, it was the boxing video. I remember that last year. It's really, really great. Would you mind passing the mic to our next friend?
Hi, everyone. My name is Gintiana Italardi. All I can say is that 3 years ago, it was me sitting there, like all of you in here. My daughter was part of this competition about this big scholarship. She didn't win. It's okay. But she still got something like a tuition discount, something out of it. And she was very happy. It's still okay. Now, I have to say something about my daughter. She is one of the students that's part of an affiliation that Elmhurst University has with one of the medical schools. She's part of a program called LECOM, Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. Then that medical school, after she won there, the interview and a spot in a medical school, we had to make the hard choice which affiliation school we needed for our daughter, you know? It's a big list of small school, medium-sized schools that you had to choose from. And as a parent, like you all are doing, scrolling through it, trying to Google it, trying to see, making college visits, of course. And we did a lot of visits. We visited Benedictine, we visited St. Xavier, we visited Lake Forest College, and we came in here too. But it was something that really struck to us about Elmhurst, you know? We're really like, oh, wait a minute, we kind of need to stop in here and look at it further, you know? They have a wonderful health professional advisor in here, director, Erica. I don't know if any of you know.
Erica Aschauer, she's amazing.
Erica Aschauer. So she was really our aha moment, you know? The care she took of explaining everything to us, the approach of every questions we had, how she answered back, and how she was warm with us and everything. We're like, oh, there is a second check on our list, you know? She's gonna be in great hands having a great career advisor, you know, health career advisor. Then we visited the campus. Everything looked really good, you know? We saw the dorms, although we didn't know if our daughter wanted to dorm or not, you know? And she ended up not being a dormer. She's a commuter, which I'll say something more about that we're very pleased with that too, as life as a commuter, because somebody thinks that, oh, being a commuter, you miss a lot, you know, experiences and this and that, but I'll say that's not the case. Elmhurst offers a lot for everyone, even for the commuters. So we came after the campus visit. We really asked a lot of questions, like I'm sure you will have to ask today or any other day. And our whatever we heard was really fitting on whatever we were looking for our daughter. We didn't want a bigger school. We want a school that she wouldn't be just a number, but she would be ambrosia. The person that she would have contact with professor, not being taught by TAs or any sort of that. And she would really get the best of her instruction. After that, we really thought that Elmhurst offered it. Then we came in for the scholarships, and then the COVID hit, so everything came a little like rolling down, you know? But even during COVID, we enrolled her as a student here even during COVID. Elmhurst University did an amazing job with handling everything. Like, an academic standpoint, she really loves it. The professors here are awesome. She has a major in biology for her pre-med route, and she is pursuing 3 minors: chemistry minor, it's business administration minor, and medical humanities.
Wow,
so you can have 3 minors too, you know, you can have double majors. I mean, they really, according to your students' needs, they will adjust a lot, everything. Like, academically, she feels very connected with professors. She's doing research with the head of bio department, cancer research. She has participated already on 2 conferences, national conferences, research conferences. She was really very, very happy with all the experience. And I would really say that if your child decides to come here, it will be, being part of Honors College is really a big plus too, you know, because you get more and more opportunities being part of the Honors College. And I saw the director was here, Dr. Mulvaney was here, that she just spoke to you. I mean, they're wonderful. They are really, really wonderful. Then, like I said, she has the connection one-on-one with the professors, and I would say that I know some of them have small children, but they are so accommodating. They would go above and beyond to help your child succeed, you know, academically. And every office hour that she has asked to be there for help before big exams, of course, because the academic in science is rigorous, you know, you do need a lot of help from professors or other people who around the class. They never say no. Every time she needs help, they're there for her. Every office hour that she can have help, and they know. They're like, oh, okay, it's you. Okay, come in, you know? And I've heard from her friends that they have the same approach with everyone. Whoever needs help will have the help. So they, like I said, I'm stressing it again, they'll go above and beyond so your child will succeed academically. You know, now my child was not in sports. She's not a sport person, so I can't say anything about the sport careers. But as a commuter, I would say that she has so many things going on during the day in school. You don't feel like, oh, I'm a commuter, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. Like, we can barely keep up because I have followed the Elmhurst University. There's an Instagram page that I, as a parent, have followed to see what's going on in my child's life, you know, because we send her to school daily, but we don't know what's going on in here. Then I do tell her, oh my gosh, there's so many opportunities of activities and a lot of things, like, I can barely keep up with that. I say, how do you manage knowing all these things and going and participating? There's job fairs that happen in campus, there's career fairs, there's a lot of things. Even last night was the President's Ball. Kids loved it. They had such a good time on it. So socially wise, they do have a lot of things going on in here and a lot of opportunities. Either you were a dormer here or not. So I'd say, technically, we never had a second thought or regret that, oh, we should have chosen another university, you know? Everything was whatever we had on our bucket list, everything check, check, check. She's so happy to be here. And now she says, Mom, I want to keep in touch with the professors. Even when I go out of this school, I still want to be in touch with them because she feels like this is family for her, you know? She feels like when she talks to the professor, she feels like she's talking to me. She tells me, Mom, I talked to Dr. Raimondi, and I have a feeling like I'm talking to you every time I talk to her. So, I mean, I have all the great things to say about Elmhurst, and thank you for being such a great university.
I think we're recording this, so we could just plop it right on the website, and I could take the rest of the year off. Thank you. Dr. Raimondi is amazing. I do adore her. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm Jennifer Gleba, and I have a similar experience as them, but I have twins that go here. They're sophomores. I have a daughter and a son, and they were a class of 2021 high school, so you know that was the midst of COVID. And of course, we were doing our college research their junior year, which is 2020. And I cannot emphasize enough just how by far, and mind you, Tim does not know like what the parents are gonna say. He doesn't know if we're gonna be negative, but I cannot emphasize enough how Elmhurst was far beyond just navigating through COVID and enticing high school students to come here. Every other college we visited fell short. We were looking at North Central, Illinois Benedictine, Northern, ISU, and we were just in shock how Tim and Christine had like Zoom calls every month and just telling us about the university, because there's some students that never even got to visit campus. And again, Elmhurst was very forthcoming as far as like, what can we do to have your students succeed? What are the things we could do for scholarships? Like, you didn't have to ask for it. They're like, okay, this is what you could do to help your student get the merit award they need and scholarships that are available to them. So it was not a shock that my boy, girl, and they're close, that they wanted to go to Elmhurst together. They live on campus. My son was also recruited to run for cross country and track. So he is a student athlete here, and he was chosen by his team to be like on the student advisory council. And he's a business management administration major, and then he's also got a minor in marketing, and then his twin sister is in information systems.
Oh, right, because she was going to make a website for his business. I remember saying that to you.
I did not know that, but thanks, Tim. Yeah. As well, and then they got offered 1 week, I forget what it's called, class last year after freshman year, where again, Elmhurst is phenomenal at having a networking system for students and their majors and companies around the surrounding area to know, like, what are you going to do after you graduate with this major? So you get an idea of, like, oh, that's the type of business. So they, like, interviewed businesses, and then to see, like, what kind of business that your major, when you graduate, what you could potentially have. Because I don't think the students necessarily know, like, what's my future after I graduate? And Elmhurst, again, is phenomenal at that. And then with that class that they had after freshman year, my daughter actually got hired through Elmhurst to work in their IT department because she's in information. So the connections that they have with students, with the surrounding community, like just the activities, whether you're a commuter, whether you're a student that lives on campus, by far, I cannot emphasize enough, was just unbelievable. As a parent, when you want your kid to succeed, they, like, you know, they're leaving the nest and you want them to be successful, and you're handing them off to a university that as a parent, you're just like, all right, my kid's gonna do well. So.
That's amazing. That's amazing, thank you. Now I gotta be my own Phil Donahue. So does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask? They did such a good job, didn't they? No parent-to-parent things, no things that I can't advise on, because I'll give you the company line if you want it. There's one. Brave soul.
I just wanted to ask the last speaker about the student-athlete experience, because my daughter's going to be coming here to do dual sports, volleyball and track, and I was wondering how the school and the balance with the classwork, and how did they do with that?
Sure.
That's a great question.
Yes, very good question, and we were concerned about that as well. And the coach was very good at saying academics always goes first, life balance always goes first. We care about you as a student. It's not just like, oh, you're the athlete first. So my kid knew that going in, and it was really comforting too as a parent to know that going in as a student athlete, you had that home base with your team. For instance, being on cross country and track from the very beginning, they always met for lunch together. Like as a team, they had like a thread text where they're like, hey guys, we're gonna go to the Frick Center to go eat. So he never had to worry about eating alone, and they do that for dinner as well. And then they had groups where they did things on the weekends. And then with her not being on there, they kind of just welcomed her. Like she's kind of close to some of the girls on the team. So you don't feel like you don't have a home, even if you're not on the sport. You get to know all the students.
And I will add to that our athletic community, all teams are going to put academics first. We're Division III, but we are trying to create a community and a competitive atmosphere within. The cross-country track and field folks have a very special thing going on, I will say. Jordan Barlozzi came from our department, and he's taken that team from not really being well known to now they're really getting ranked. Yep, they've gotten a bunch of championships. They're really kicking butt. I can't say as much about volleyball. I don't know that coach specifically. I'm the fine arts guy after all, so I'm at all the plays and stuff. But if your student is an athlete here, they are going to be supported by their teammates, by their coaches, by the environment. A lot of them have built-in study time and things like that as well, so that they're staying eligible because they have to remain academically eligible to stay on the team. Great question. Anybody else?
I just have a question about campus safety and how you guys feel your kids have been safe on campus, and then if anything has happened on campus, hopefully not, but how the school has communicated with you.
Public safety is really good. They have an alert system that you could put on your phone as a parent as well as the student that alerts you for weather or if there's a lockdown or anything. So you feel very much connected. You don't, if your student is not like a communicator with you and you're like texting them like proof of life, I don't know if you guys get that, but Elmhurst does the job for you too, and then they have an Instagram page and a Facebook page that keeps you very involved as a parent.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. It's a very safe campus. We do feel safe even when there's activities happening in the evening that our daughter has to travel, back and forth. She has never had any concerns. She's never come home and saying, oh, I did not feel safe, or oh, I had this trouble coming back at any hour of the night. And I would say something, to her really mattered a lot. It was last month, she had a problem with her hood of the car because she's a commuter. And she felt like she was stuck and, oh, Mom, I didn't know what to do. And she said, I asked one of the security people in the campus for help. And they went above and beyond. They took her to, there is a shop in here. They took her there, they fixed whatever, and they sent her home. She was like, Mom, I was not expecting that. I was so well taken care of, Even as a commuter, you always find help anywhere in the campus.
I will say our security officers get to know our students just like the rest of us do. They're very much a part of our community, especially our day folks, Terry and Tim. They kind of know who our students who struggle are, our students who generally are. I haven't gotten a parking permit yet this year, and they never give me a ticket because they know my car. So they get pretty comfortable with us, and we are under their watchful eye. There are cameras all around. We are, obviously in a pretty secure, safe suburb, so we don't have a high crime incident here. The usuals things happen. If my purse disappeared, my wallet, this kind of thing. But for the most part, it's the same kind of commonsensical things, and I would say we're a pretty safe community.
Also, the surrounding community is pretty good as well. My son, him and his friends, they go to the various restaurants, especially Buffalo Wild Wings. I guess that's a thing.
D-dubs.
Yeah, they watch all of the games and everything. So they not only get to know the campus, they feel comfortable enough and safe enough to travel to surrounding community. Elmhurst, the city itself, downtown Elmhurst, it's a good place to hang out. Also, it's not quite the same as like more of a typical college environment where younger kids could get themselves in trouble. It's just not that type of environment. So that's a huge deal, I feel, that keeps the kids kind of focused more on their studies, yet they can still kind of grow up and socialize and mature in a safe urban environment. So it's a good deal. It's a good deal. And as far as the athletic community, if your kid is going to be an athlete, they also becomes friends with athletes of different teams. My kid, he wrestles for the school, but 3 of his roommates are basketball players, so they hang out all the time. And he hangs out with all different types of athletes. So as far as safety is concerned, I don't have any concerns. And I love the fact that he could transverse Elmhurst City, the city of Elmhurst, and feel comfortable in doing so. I mean, like I say, he's growing up. As a kid, you know, it surprised me that he's Ubering everywhere. So, you know, he's growing up. That's what you want your kid to do when he go off to college, is kind of mature and spread their wings.
And just a little plug for the town, just for parents, there are some great eateries that aren't Buffalo Wild Wings. So there's Chipotle, and there's the Elmhurst Brewery, and there's Beerheads, and there's a lovely little wine shop, and there's several different sushi restaurants. So if you're bringing another family up to visit and they're going to eat in the caf, or we're going to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, cool. We're going to go to the nice 151 restaurant if you like. So there's a lot of good things to do in town, and the movie theater, and there's a Kilwins. I guess it's the only one that's not in a tourist area, so you could buy fudge. Any other questions out there? All right, I'm coming. Did I see one in the back too? Oh, do you mind if I run and you get them and then come back to you? All right, more steps. And then I made it really hard. We're going to do this. I'm going to trip over you.
We're from out of state. I'm curious, how often do the kids pop on the train and go into Chicago?
That's a good one.
So the train is just like a 5-minute walk from here. Like their freshman year, they had what's called a FYS class. I don't know what those initials stand for.
First year seminar.
And that was phenomenal because they got to take trips to the city to go to the Art Institute. It's a 20-minute ride. For cross country, for a bonding experience, they went and did a run on Lakeshore Drive, and then they got to go to North Avenue Beach. So they do a lot of things, being in the city in proximity, which is a great experience for them because it's a safe train ride away that's only 20 minutes.
And I will say a lot of my out-of-state students get into that more than some of my local students. Not all of them, but that tends to happen quite a bit.
And I would say through honors program, through honors college, they do take field trips to the city. They take the train, or they have special coach buses. They go to musicals. They go to lyric opera. Like only last year, my daughter saw 2 or 3 musicals, and then she went to see Tosca, the opera. So they do a lot of excursions to the city and organized, with professors being in charge of it, you know.
Here's a scenario. So my kid has never been to a Bears game prior to coming to Elmhurst University. I don't know how many of his roommates, at least one of them is from Michigan, so they're Lions fans. So guess what? They all went to, him and his roommates went to a Bears game. I've never been to a Bears game, you know, so that was pretty amazing to me. Of course, the Bears lost, so yeah. That's just how it goes. So he lost out on bragging rights. So.
This year. Sir.
My question is, how do internship programs get incorporated in a student's field of study? Is it during school, after school, off season? How are things scheduled that way?
Well, it's going to depend by program. I don't know if you have any experience with your students doing internships, but sometimes they're during the school year, sometimes they're during the summer, sometimes it's up to the student. So every student here is going to be required to do some kind of experiential learning as part of their major. For education majors, that's going to be a real easy fill, student teaching. We help arrange all that. Plus, they're going to have to do 100 hours of clinical observation. For nursing majors, their clinicals are going to be built into their program because they have to do a number of hours at a number of different kinds of hospital experiences. But for some of our business friends or some of our IT friends, that's going to be a little bit more driven by what they're interested in. We have a lovely department here on campus called the Center for Professional Excellence, the Wiegand Center for Professional Excellence, WCPE, and they help get listings for internships and for jobs. We have a whole network we call Handshake, which is sort of like LinkedIn for college. So whenever, like, I'm an employer and I want to hire college kids, I contact the CPE and we post their jobs in there. Same for internships. A lot of our faculty in various fields, like I work with the art department very closely, and so in graphic design land, I have a graphic designer who's a professional. He does posters, he does work on his own, so he's going to help guide those students more specifically to their areas of interest. And that's true for music, that's true for any of the sciences. She mentioned that her student is working with Dr. Raimondi and already going to conferences, and Raimondi's really big on getting pubs, which is getting published. And so getting undergrad experience with that sort of thing is kind of rare, and it's a beautiful thing with a small school like this where they can get those kinds of experiences. So is it during the school year? Sometimes. Is it sort of unique to what their major is and they find the whole thing in the summer? Sometimes. For my theater kids, we do that all summer, summer stock, those kinds of things. But it kind of depends. That's an excellent question. Do you have anything to add to that one? Has any of your...
I do actually.
Go.
Unbeknownst to myself and my son and daughter, when we were looking into the school, I did not know that my husband's a CPA, so he has an accounting firm in Elk Grove. We did not know that he's part of the handshake program, so they do an exchange or like an internship. So my daughter was sitting at a table with one of the students, and she's just like, oh, you know, they're trying to connect with each other. What are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm an accounting major. And my daughter says, my dad is an accountant, and they do an internship with Elmhurst. And the girl was like, oh, I already have an internship. And my daughter had said, oh, what's the name of the company? And it was my husband's company. And so they, like in the surrounding area, there's that connection. And Elmhurst does that bridge for the students to connect with these companies. But aside from that, I also want to say, people sometimes think, oh, Elmhurst is a community, like commuters is a big thing, but my students have met so many students from around the world. Like there's Colombian students, there's English students, there's students from everywhere from around the United States and around the world that come to Elmhurst University as a student.
That's true. And one of the reasons some of you might have heard of Elmhurst College, that's what we used to be. We switched to Elmhurst University in 2020 for that reason, to increase our international population. We used to have 18 or so international students. We now have almost 100 here from all around the world, so that's kind of exciting. I'd like to give you more time, but we are out of time. So how about a round of applause for our parents? So brave, so informative. I really appreciate your help. Now it's time for, if you haven't had a cocoa or something downstairs, it's a little break, and then we'll be kind of changing up. And I guess that award ceremony is coming up soon, so one of you is going to find out if it's your kid. So enjoy your break.
Good luck with all your decisions.
Parents, I hope you enjoyed the panels and the sessions while your students were competing. And students, I hope you made new friends as you work together to change the world. I'd like to kick off our award ceremony by introducing you to our 14th president, Dr. Troy Van Aken. Dr. Van Aken is no stranger to serving others in his community. People probably notice it most when he donates personally to the college or buys popcorn for students at basketball games. But what impresses me most is what he does for individuals. He doesn't make a big deal about it. And if you don't know him or you're not paying attention, I imagine it goes unnoticed. His stature is big, and so is his heart. Please welcome Dr. Troy Van Aken.
I'd like to get to know that guy. I never heard myself described so well here, but you know, I've got some prepared remarks, but I'm just going to tell the students something right now. When you go to college or university and think about what you want to do later on in life, you know, you want to make some money, right? Your parents want you to make some money because they want you off their payroll. But what really is going to make a difference in your life is the connections and the service that we give back to others. You're not going to take things with you when you leave this world and some things like that. And so that's why I'm so proud to be here with this particular group. I mean, you're already serving society, and you're integrating that into your educational experience and in your lifestyle and some things like that. You're all winners in this regard in my mind, and so good luck with this particular competition. And we've really enjoyed to get to know a little bit more about you. What brought you here? You're an amazing group of individuals because of your dedication to service. You identify problems. You work collaboratively to find solutions. You volunteer in school groups or in your church groups or other philanthropic organizations. And most of you have been doing this for many years, not just for this particular occasion. You strengthen others by bringing them food, tutoring, finding ways to support them. You help your families around the house. You help build houses around the world. And you inspire us with all the ways in which you serve others in society. And my hope is today Elmhurst University has inspired you a bit, because we too like to serve others in society. Our mission is to prepare students to make meaningful and ethical contributions in a very diverse and global society. Our core values include a commitment to serving the community, to being engaged and responsible citizens, and respecting others in our world as we look to be responsible stewards of resources as well. And at Elmhurst, we try to live those values every day here. And often our students are at the forefront of how we serve society. About a third of our students contribute more than 10,000 hours each year to local, national, or global causes or commitments. And like many of you, our students may initially have joined a service organization or club as not only to help others, but to make new friends or try something new. And at Elmhurst, we offer more than 100 student clubs and organizations in which you can do that. And along the way, I think we also learn a little bit about ourselves as we give to others. And that's the difference that a place like Elmhurst makes in terms of the community, both on campus and off. We believe in changing lives through the power of education, and should you choose to attend Elmhurst University, you'll be in that kind of environment that will prepare you and inspire you to do even more that you can to share your gifts with the world. So thank you for taking part in this Niebuhr Service to Society Scholarship Competition. I'd like to turn things over to our Assistant Director for Admissions, Tim Altberg, and I'll join a few of you on the stage here a little bit later.
Hello again. How are you doing today? So this is the part I've been practicing the most for within the hour of free time that I had. I am going to announce each and every one of you participants. So if you're able to stand or you would like to stand, you are welcome to stand. But we're going to play graduation rules because in the end, you're going to give them a big round of applause. So I don't want to make anyone feel bad because they stood up and, yeah, Bobby, and nobody else gets that. Okay? This is in no particular order. It's the list that was as given to me. I'm going to say your name nice and loud, so prepare to stand if you wish or are able to. Disha Verdi, Owen Eckes, Adrian Pavlaitis, Dustin Mullenhoff, Abigail Miller, Aubriana Mitchell, Jose Acevedo, Ian Murphy, Matthew Camo, Baylor Adamovsky, Meredith Mounier, Darian Farmer, Richmond Outlaw, Avery Stevenson, Shawnee Watkins, Christina Bondley, Elise Nelson, Ane Saxena, Hannah Rinder, Oriana DeVita, Paula Andonis, Kara Callista, Naomi Capuchula, Dominic Tamborelli, Andrew Fitch, Anjali Chavda, Mai Vo, Sarah Montgomery, Jessica McIntosh, Brianna Caldwell, Hunter Hernandez, Isaiah Unger, Cheyenne Ahmed, Kevin Williams, Bailey Hodel, Aisha Mirza, Natalie Harty, Aiden Pelletier, Tony Cerusi, Carissa Jamrog, Samuel Emanuel, Evelinda Castorone, Hannah Elrod, Charlie Gross, Gavin Mitrenga, Angelina Calvillo, Casey Butau, Ruth Ann Olson, Alan Thomas, Samuel Hallam, Annabelle Gorell, Mia Bella DiGrazia, Cameron Cox, Courtney Conlin, Kang Nguyen, Anna Stein, Ni Dang, Muhammad Ibrahimov, Dalton Schnell, Nolan Brosnya, Deng Deng, Sumaya Sayed, Faris Safaf, Jacob Dubke, Maria Ikomindu, Sophia Galanto, Zoha Tariq, Elizabeth Harmon, Keela Rivera, Zartaj Khan, Leo Meyer, Gemma Gleason, Lauren Yu, Emily Fanella, Jocelyn Salgado, Ramon Carey, Colin Rogers, Alicia Tariq, Samuel Santos, Emily Guy, Evan Thornton, Lisbeth Gonzalez Avilles, Savannah Davis, Alec Castillo, Luke Kerr, Miriam Kojukaru, Harrison Hummel, Ashton Proctor, Mia Silva, Alexandria Wenzel, Elisa Ann Drew, Amanda Drew, Noah Belize, Derek Rivera, Mikhail Abizaid Nunez, David Foley, Inaya Mohammed, Charles Faree, Arania Vidales, Konstantinos Skokos, Marshall Bell, Kelvin Mwati, Olivia Henderson, Umaima Siddiqui, Abigail Comperda, Zachariah Jan, Brandon Underwood, Mateo Blessing, Amina Ali, Skylar Stevenson, Stephanie Figueroa, Samanu Betty, Owen Brixius, Veronica Sroka, Maria Maricico, Gabrielle Fisher, Fisher's son, Paige Reverts, Masha Milokovic, Brett Adams, Julieta Contreras, Madeline Berger, Anthony Licata, Lillian Bigelow, Matthias Aguilar, Levi Kovac, Gabrielle Henry, Nia Jones, is that Nia? Sorry. Andrew Walters, Joseph Sunderland, Luke Scotty, Hafsa Imran, Tyler Teskowski, Dustin Shielk, Austin Lockmacher, Elizabeth Vasquez, Grace Loris, Sabrina Maharaj, Valerie Rodriguez, Humza Hashmi, Sahar Mohiddin, Angelica Garcia, Tyler Pazos, Katrina Zettergren, Catherine Lynch, Cole Hess, Charlie Thomas, Nina de Guzman, Levi Toman, Thomas Wickers, Fatima Akun, Sophia Stender, Lindsay Roscoe, Samuel Roque, Andy Balak, Ruzania Saida, Thomas Kruppa, Victoria Zebulon, Jacob Birchchick, Mary Graves, Connor Drowns, Lainey Tron, Rihanna Bradkey, Suzanne Janik, Ava Burke, Landon Banazinski, Jared Downs, Dostonabek Adurimov, Alexandra Lawrence, Moises Gomez, Rose Cochiaro, Chloe Burkich, Medina Sultanova, Elizabeth Acevedo, Victoria Polinsky, Tucker Samuelin, Melody Elbel, Trent Guzik, Numa Syed, Jocelyn Santana, Grace Loy, Benjamin Jimenez, Youngha Lee, Noah Barnes, Kate Jeske, Riley Taylor, Iberia Munoz, Wyatt Alvarado, Caitlin Garcia, Nyan Ruffin, Ethan Gudsey, Antoine Thurston, Blair Johnson, Nathan Devitt, Olivia Hotman, Abigail Punsalan, Blake Studdard, Kylie Graves, Zanaya Alam, Sarah Teese, Elisa Oropeza, Logan Kennedy, Carson Conklin, Amaris Santiago, Anizik Marapova, Sudvij Nujdibat, Brendan Fleming, Nicole Asunko, Angel Brown, Jasmine Pickett, Yari Padilla Ortiz, Huda Moizidin, Brooke Sarton, Allison Enright. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. A round of applause for all of those people. And now, oh my God, you guys, you're going to find out who's going to win this thing.
Are you ready? Now the moment we've all been waiting for. The results are in. Welcome, Victor. I'd like to invite Dr. Van Aken up on stage as well as we present these awards. There were 27 groups competing today, and you all did an amazing job. Your judges had the best things to say about you, and I really hope each one of you come to Elmhurst University because you will contribute such greatness to this campus and really leave a legacy here. There is one group that stood out. There's a few groups that stood out, but only one. There can be only one. So we have a group award to give out today, which is valued at $3,000 per student, annually, of course. And that group was judged by Ursula Jean Migsayo, and that's group number 7. Stephanie Figueroa, Angelina Calvillo, come on up here. Nate Devitt, Emily Finella, Gabrielle Fisher, and Sophia Galanto. Sophia? Congratulations, Group 7. Group 7 developed an organization serving homeless youth. We hope that you'll be inspired to continue some of your projects that you've created today. And now for our second place winner. The second place winner award is valued at $10,000 annually. And that's added to the scholarships you're already receiving. So a pretty healthy award right there. It was very difficult, I have to say. Doing the judging, it takes a very long time and a whole lot of people to get together, to watch the videos, to put all of our notes together and see how you performed today. And it's really, really touching to me to be able to announce the winner, especially this being our 5th year in progress. So without further ado, the second place Niebuhr Award goes to Elizabeth Vasquez. Come on up. Congratulations, Elizabeth. Well deserved. And the final moment we've been waiting for. Our first place winner for the Niebuhr Service to Society Scholarship Competition is...
Hi, this place is my church, La Iglesia in Mundelein, Illinois. Hi, I'm Aiden Pelletier, and I'm here at the place where I've contributed most to positive change in my community. I've done so in the field of music, which I intend to study at Elmhurst. We are mostly a Latino community with limited resources, since the majority of us are first and second generation immigrants from Mexico and Latin America. I'm half Chilean and speak Spanish, so I feel right at home here. Here's my pastor, Homero.
I can tell you that I've known Aiden Pelletier all of his life because he grew up in my church. Since he was a little boy, he took some piano lessons at our church and he started playing at our church, and oh my God, did he develop and improve. And not only that, but he also teaches our children and our youth how to play instruments and how to work together as a team to become a band eventually and to worship the Lord.
In 2019, I helped organize my students to play in a junior high band. It was about 4 years of teaching and over 500 hours of classes before the COVID-19 pandemic forced us to cancel everything. I didn't want my students to forget all we had done. I started piano and drum lessons online with Zoom. I kept experimenting with camera angles, audio, and software programs in order to improve the quality and effectiveness of my lessons. Later, when I started taking piano lessons from Veritas Music, the program director was so impressed that they converted much of their setup to match mine. Enough kids stuck with it, and the next year we started the junior band up again, where I continued to assist and teach in person. How has this made a change? I know I'm not the same musician or the same person as when I was 7, and it all started with those free lessons. And I can think of 11 of my students that have been changed in a similar way. Many do not have the means to pay for private lessons. I had the honor to help them learn piano, and some have even written their own songs. As my musical abilities have improved over the years, so has the impact on the quality, the confidence, and stability of the worship team. We're able to learn and even compose music that previously was very difficult.
Every time he plays the keyboard, he inspires me. He inspires our entire congregation to worship the Lord. Every time that he's not playing, we can notice the difference. Aiden has blessed me, my family, my children, our church, and our community, and I really believe that he can bless and impact your college and your program in a very positive way.
Musical talent has been given to me, and I know it will grow by investing in others. This is why I plan to apply the skills and knowledge that I gain at Elmhurst to continue serving the church and the community, just as the church has served me. Thank you for your consideration.
Congratulations to Aiden Pelletier. Another round of applause.
Wow, that's exciting. Aiden, we'll have to meet again to do that spreadsheet over now. So thank you, everybody, for coming. I hope you enjoyed your experience and got a lot out of it. I hope you know, all of you individuals who participated who were not winners, you're not losers. You still come away with a $1,000 Niebuhr Service to Society grant. So you're still getting that. So yay, money. Some of which will be paid to you out of that money I made from the watch I sold. There's going to be some optional tours going out from the front of the chapel outside, so if you've never done one or like to see one, the weather is brightened up for us, so I encourage you to do that. If you have questions, all of us, the first-year admission and transfer team, will be available at the lower level of the chapel where you'll be able to get your certificates with our business cards. What? So please head out down there and meet your counselors. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know if his family's here. If any of the winners would like a photo with their family.